Now this is cool as beep beep. It has to go up a little bit more. Let me show you this. You see there's like a reinforcement on the floor. That one is about 2 inches. If I remove that, it should be just enough, because I don't want to build anything for the bell housing, and I think it will be just enough, because I remember yeah, actually no, we're about to, you see that sign over there? There's a sign, I don't know if you can see it. It's about 1.5 inches from the floor, and we got about 2 inches there, so I think this will just work out perfectly. Absolutely beautiful. I think I got it. This is, well, it will have to go about at least 2 inches forward still, which it will give me a little bit of space for the prop shaft. The bell housing actually fits nearly-ish, I would say. Maybe a little hump right in the middle, tiny bit, nothing major. But again, if the engine goes forward 2 inches, that may actually clear. So, but this is roughly the height it will stay. It can go slightly lower, but I don't know. I think this is good enough. Now we have to lower the van a little bit, so obviously that diff is gonna be more in line with the gearbox. So I'm happy with that. Unfortunately, I'm gonna do it in time to make engine mounts. I wanted to do it tonight. I failed. I was hoping to get it all in one day, but there was just too many issues. No issues, but small hiccups. You know, exhaust was a pain ass to remove. That fuel canister or fuel sweep or whatever that is, it would take me fucking bloody long time. So I just wasted time on that. However, I'm happy anyway. The engine is in position. I'm happy with the position. I know it will go forward about 2 inches, which gives me enough space for the prop shaft and all that stuff. So, but that's enough for today. Oh, let me turn this slide off. Oh, sorry. And I've decided to I'll do something on myself. I mean, I still got some energy left. I say half an hour maybe. I feed the seeds on my crazy frog. But crazy frog, you don't actually know the crazy frog. Yeah, it's a lovely little car. I absolutely love it. This is proper grip car, and as you may understand, this engine, well, I'm gonna show you the engine. I'm gonna say nothing. There's the engine there. There's a turbo there. I'm suggesting nothing. However, the seats, these bloody seats, I thought it's gonna be quick installation, because I wanted to use the standard rails, because I still want to slide them forward and have the access to this small, put the light on, to this small compartment, which is actually not small at all. They're actually fairly big, and you can put loads of stuff in there. I think it's quite handy because obviously this thing has no boot because the engine is there. There's nothing there apart the spare tire, so that's quite handy to have it on the back. I don't really use it often, so if I lose it, it's not really a major issue, but you know, it'll be handy to leave it. So I thought I'm gonna use a standard rails. I can slide this forward and back, plus if my wife want to drive it, you can slide this seat a little bit more forward, otherwise she won't reach the pedals. But then I thought, if she's not gonna drive it, it's not really a major issue, is it? So hope she's not gonna see this video. But yeah, it's late. I'm not. Today is a curse. I was planning to finish that, and I haven't finished that. Then impulsive, I say, you know what? I got an hour spare. I got some energy left. Let's put the seats in. It's only gonna take short amount of time because the idea was to use those standard rails. Till now, you can't. Well, you could, but it's a lot of modifications, and the seats they're gonna be too high. I want them low on the floor, so I think the Crazy Frog is gonna stay in the workshop today, and I may have to take the Merc today to go home. But let's see. I'm gonna spend another half an hour maybe. If I do any time, good. If not, she's gonna be here tomorrow morning. So tomorrow is Saturday anyway. But the weekend I wanted to spend to do the S14. I didn't show you, but I already put the drive shafts on the back. I started to assemble the real suspensions, and I got the wheel back wheels off. I found some dodgy stuff. I mean, inside that bush there is no space. There's like a metal tube and it's missing. I don't know why. All these arms are loose. I mean, this car is dusty and obviously dirty from the last time I used it. But the drive shafts are on, discs are on, a bit rusty obviously because it's been sitting for years. I have to assemble the calipers and the brackets and everything, but apart that, obviously the whole front is nearly there. I got the gears, I got the gearbox, I got the prop shaft, I got the clutch. I just have to bleed it. I have to remove this. Obviously I have to put the proper bolts for the steering. That's not the steering wheel. Actually the steering wheel from this car I got it in my Crazy Frog because my genuine Momo deep dish. I love that steering wheel, so I don't know, let's see how it goes. She probably stays in the workshop, but if I manage to do this seat today, it would be nice, so I can spend all tomorrow and Sunday rebuilding the Silvia, because she really takes not much to be back on the road. The engine is in the econoline on his own engine mode finally, so I'm quite happy. Fairly solid. It is in its final place, and then I'm quite happy because I concluded this week for the customer. Well, although this is Saturday not Friday, so I'm a bit late, but I finished what I had to plan for this week. So let me explain what's going on behind here. This gearbox mount, which I chopped off the other bits because they were sticking out probably to here, which was obviously not acceptable. Now I made these two, which they will have to go probably under the subframe, under the frame there, and give me this platform to go with the arms from there to themselves. Obviously we have to remove this. I'm not really sure what that is. It's like a big rivet only on one side, but it's holding nothing. I don't know, probably some centering for the jigs when they build the frames or something. I'm not really sure. It doesn't really matter, I have to remove it anyway, so it's holding nothing, not needed. It has to be removed. However, this is, I don't think this is gonna be my final gearbox mounts. I'm just trying to make them strong enough, strong enough, because I was thinking to leave them this kind of build, but I'm probably just gonna put this one on, bolt it on the frame, get a couple of arms each side to keep the gearbox in the position. Same with the front cross member. This is good enough, it's strong enough. I want to do some more reinforcements, you know, but it's holding everything good. I want this section to obviously be slightly bigger and grab the chassis from the bottom as well, but I want to do this later. And the reason for that is because obviously the turbo system on the lines and everything has to come first. So I want to build all the important stuff first, and then once I got the important stuff all around, doing, obviously going and through the places it has to go comfortably, then I do this to go around it. Maybe I don't have to do it, but you know, I don't want to do the job twice. However, I'm thinking I may actually not leave it this way. I might actually do it something much better. I know I just said that it doesn't really matter how it looks like, it has to be strong, but I'm kind of lying to myself. I want this to look awesome. So I think I'm gonna design something and just, you know, probably maybe stainless plates, you know, some nice great stainless plates, interlock each other and then TIG welded. So I don't know, I'm fancy something like this. I think I'm gonna do it. So I'm not gonna spend much time on this to make it pretty, not at all, just to make it strong, because the priority now is to have the engine and gearbox in the correct position it will stay after, no movements, and build a turbo system, because that's the obviously the most important thing right now. And then after that we get back and redesign the engine mounts, or the new cross member, because it is actually kind of cross member. It grabs the chassis from both sides and then holds the engine from there. For now I just make it, like you see, just made them quick and strong, but this could stay, to be honest. It's not bad. You can reinforce it and make it slightly better as well, but I'm fancy something very, very nice. So, because again, it's gonna take a long time anyway, so I think I'm gonna do it. But for now, yes, just get the gearbox in place, and I will have to chop a little bit more of the floor and put those turbos in, because the exhaust housing from that turbo, from this side for example, is gonna be roughly here, and then from here you can see how beautiful we can get with the exhaust around the frame, around the chassis, and probably a nice silencer somewhere here, and then exit over here. However, when I'm making this engine gearbox mount, sorry, I really have to be careful to plan it, because obviously, as you know, we're gonna remove the leaf suspensions, because this is not good. I mean, the leaf suspensions, they work as an arm that holds the axle itself under the weight, but also acts like an arm that holds everything, not just the spring support. So what happens when you apply torque to the axle, this actually twists, and then we end up with the diff going up and down on the torque. You release the gas pedal up and down. So this is actually what breaks the axles inside, because they kind of spring up and forth and back, plus we're gonna have very short prop shaft, so we want to avoid that anyway. Plus with all this torque and all this power this engine is gonna have, that's not good anyway, because you're losing traction and loads of bad things. So we're gonna design a new suspensions, obviously geometry. I'm gonna use 4 independent links. There's gonna be one mount on the bottom here going to, I'm thinking not just under the chassis but on the side of it, and there's gonna be another one on the top, same there. Now usually I do triangles on the top, so it's like a Land Rover style, or like a rock crawling, a competition cars, off-road cars. They have 2 bottom links straight from bottom of the chassis to the bottom of the axle, but on the top is like a triangle, one arm from here, one there, and from there back to the chassis here. That way they keep the axle always in the center. But what they actually keep in the center is the bolt joint or the pivot they attach to, not the diff itself. They don't keep the diff itself in the center, is that one. So the diff itself actually pivots on those mounting points on the top arms, and this is something I'm not happy with in this application. So I'm probably gonna use a 4 straight independent links, and I like that because obviously you can choose how much traction you have to the car, how much squat you can have it on the acceleration. This is a road car, so I'm trying to design it to not have too much squat, maybe compromise a little bit of a traction for obviously bumpy roads. This is not a track car, so you know you kind of have to do a couple of compromises, but at the same time trying to give it as much traction as possible. But again, we can have all the traction as we want and then hit the pothole or hit the bump on the road, which is quite common, and then we lose all the traction in the world. So, you know, trying to figure that one out. But definitely with the 4 independent links on the solid axle, that's achievable and is very good. But to keep the axle in the middle, I'm probably gonna design a panel bar. So it's gonna be a one mount to the chassis, but I have to strengthen the chassis here because it's like I have to put something between this leg and that leg there, so we don't have any chassis twist or anything. And then a mount that's gonna be probably the same level where the axle is, and then grab the axle from somewhere here. I mean, this axle we have to be modified anyway because they are, like I said before, they're strong enough, maybe even slightly stronger than a 9-inch Ford, because this is the 8.8 31 spline, which we're gonna modify inside anyway to make it stronger. But I heard by stories with the guys from drag racing that they like to twist the tubes, so we're gonna reinforce the whole axle externally and internally as well, plus obviously disc brake conversions. So on the back here there's gonna be a lot going on, and that's why I'm not really confident for now to build the gearbox mounts completely finished, because again, I'm not 100% sure yet which direction and how I'm gonna design the 4 links to hold the axle on the back. And if I build something here, for example, a mount for this, it may be on the way later to the arms or whatever. So, and again, the way I design the gearbox mount is not very important. I can design it that it can grab this cross member on the chassis, for example. It doesn't have to be here, but it could be here. But again, first of all, priorities, and priority is again engine, turbo system performance, and the suspension geometry. So anything that could be in the way of this stuff later, I'm not gonna do it pretty, I'm not gonna do it also now. We do it later. So for now, just, you know, have it all secured, build a turbo system. Once we got the turbo system, we're gonna jump on the suspensions, because again, front suspensions of the Ford econoline is yeah, it's not really great, is it? That's the hubs, that's the brakes, and come on, this is just not up to the job. Every time you hit a pothole or bump on the road, or the car simply just goes up and down the suspension, because obviously you're driving on the road, not on the circuit. This changes the camber and the caster and all the possible angles, so you know, that's not really great. Active camber is something good, but this is just, no, this is like old 60s design. I'm sure it can be improved better, but that's, to me, that's just not. Plus you can see how small of a that, obviously, whatever you want to call it, that hub, if you can call it a hub, is very small. It's just, I don't like it. I think it's not up to the job, so we have to do something different. However, I'm gonna have a look, because in America they love these vans, and I don't know, maybe we can find something off the shelf. Maybe they already did something for this van. If they done something like Streety Boys, like I like it, then we get something ready to weld on or put it on or convert it, I don't know. If not, I'm just gonna design my own, which I'm actually more keen on this than buying something new. Unless there's someone develop a kit that is very, very good, then no point. But yeah, let's go forward. I'm gonna have this gearbox mounted today, and cut that bit of the floor even more. And yeah, now we're just waiting for the materials. We about to order the turbos and all the waste gauge and the materials to make the exhaust manifold, and a lot of other stuff. And I need that first, because I need the turbos positions first, then I can put the merge collectors, and the merge collectors gives me obviously roughly the idea how to build the exhaust manifold, and then I can go from there. So yeah, bit of waiting but this is how it works. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So yeah, after finding out my engine mounts for the conversion K24 into MIS, they're wrong. Well, they're not wrong, they just don't fit this gearbox and this engine. And yeah, well, that's in another video. However, back to work, back on the van, Silvia is waiting. I'm trying to get it done like a little bit every night, like spending like an hour or a couple of hours every night on it, so it should be finished pretty soon. Right people, I think Silvia is back. However, back on the van, I want to show you something, because now the first idea is to put the engine on the front and blah blah blah. Now we had it on the back because obviously makes sense. And at the first thought we said, you know what, we're gonna have the turbos, which now is there, mounting under the bonnet. However, now as I'm trying to get this turbo system kind of sorted in my mind, I do like the turbos under the bonnet, because you open the bonnet door, you can see that there's two big turbos, air filters and a big intercooler. However, there is quite a lot of piping going from here to there. It's a long way on the exhaust and on the intercooler and boost pipes and all the stuff, which essentially is not really a problem. However, you may have a little bit of throttle response delay, not much, tiny bit, we've proven it's fine. Then if you have a big delay, even if you do, then there's obviously tons of stuff you can do to obviously eliminate it. However, that's not the main reason why I'm thinking about that may not be the perfect setup, because then I have to obviously run the boost pipe from the plenums into the intercooler on the front, the exhaust manifolds, obviously everything facing on the front. So the exhaust manifolds, I was thinking to get them facing forward the engine and down there, and boost pipes going to behind, under there, somewhere probably between the body and the chassis. There's plenty of space there, and then back to the intercooler. But then I had a second thought. I said, hold on, what if I get the exhaust manifolds facing back and put the turbo there? Obviously two of them. Now it's not exactly there, it will be slightly lower because obviously I cut the floor just to suit the engine, and that's enough. But if I cut the floor about another, I would say 3 inches, maybe 4 top, that turbo will sit lower, much lower. And obviously we're going to have 2 symmetric guideds, so one normal rotation, one reverse rotation, so this is going to be completely symmetric. But this is just beautiful. I mean, what else can I say? And then obviously if the turbo is there, obviously the inlet is going to be slightly lower, probably there. You have 2 4-inch pipes, one here or going up there. However, what I want to say, the air filter, look at the space here, it will fit perfectly in this space here, obviously on the top of the heads, will not take much space. And the way the intake is designed is just asking for the air filters to be here. I mean, there's going to be a lot of pressure anyway, there's not going to be no radiator in the front of this engine, so it's not going to get that hot over here. It's very ventilated, so I'm okay with the filters being here. Sure, if they were on the front completely away from any heat, it would be slightly better. However, I think in this situation, this turbo system with the turbos here, even with a slightly more heat into the air filters, this is really not a big downside. So I think it's not a really big compromise, not a compromise at all, to be honest, because what we're trying to achieve here obviously is like the customer wanted. He wants this behind a transparent kind of engine bay, let's say. So this is going to be like a table style, like a glass table style, if you know what I mean. So I don't know, I'm trying to debate on this turbo system, having the turbos here very close to the engine instead of up in the front there. So far I like it. If I don't find anything bad about it, I'm probably gonna leave them there, one there, one here. It's not gonna take much more room, only by probably for like being between 3.5 and 4 inches to cut the floor a little bit more. And I like it because everything's gonna be on a show. So you got the engine, the plenums, the air filters, 2 big turbos, exhaust manifolds, everything here. and I'm trying to make it as nice, as beautiful as possible as I can. So I would like to show it off, to be honest, and that's what the customer wants anyway. So I think this is the direction I'm gonna go, unless I'm gonna find some issues or think about this even more and I find out that the best thought is to put the turbos on the front, but I reckon they're gonna be right here. Some extra to have them. One of them is a reverse rotation. I don't even know which one because I'm so excited. I just want to go in the toilet and have a sex with myself with one of these turbos in my pocket. I shouldn't say that on YouTube, right? And but this is just beautiful.